Hello folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your Southern therapist, Dr. Julia Childers. I'm also a member of the graduating class of 1975 of T.L. Hanna High, Anderson, South Carolina. And I am putting out information about the bullying that I experienced my entire time at T.L. Hanna High School. You even saw a movie called Radio. He was part of T.L. Hanna High School, and you saw some evidence of bullying of him. So that is something that you can go back and reference. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going with some things on how very difficult it was to go to this school. T.L. Hanna High School, the time I went, and I understand from many of my colleagues and family and parents of students now, it is still a highly class conscientious school. If you're from a higher income family, you're probably going to do better than some of the other socioeconomic levels. However, again, as I said in another video, thinking that you are in a much higher level of income in this area is just such a joke. Again, I'm going to tell you that most people with a lot of money who are wanting to make sure their kids get a viable and credentialed education to move them further on up the academic ladder, send their children to private school, not the Hanna. So, you know, that's kind of the biggest takeaway from all of it is if you're living down there and you're still doing it and playing the game, the joke's on you, honey. The joke's on you. But whatever, I was bullied the entire time that I went to T.L. Hanna High School. And I watched a lot of bullying at T.L. Hanna High School. And let me start with this one. The Sub Debs. Sub Debs. Now, I'm going to really piss a lot of you women off that went to high school with me, and I don't care. I don't care. The Sub Debs is a high school group of the female students that come together, I guess, through their parents, making recommendations or whatnot. It goes back, the Sub Deb high school sorority concept goes back as far as 1945 and was very popular in the Midwest. But my sister is 6 years older than me, and I remember when she went to T.L. Hanna and would tell us about this sorority. So it's supposed to be girls and students who are going to provide services to the community. Well, let me be real clear. This is not a school-sponsored organization. It's not sponsored by the school. It's sponsored by some head-up-their-boohoo parents who came up with this idea and decided to get their girls in it. I guess as another one of those little secret clubs of we better than everybody else kind of thing. So that would be my first concern legally. If you had any sense and then you were in administration and you're allowing this to take part at any part during the school or to provide services to T.L. Hanna on behalf of using the school name, it's not school sponsored. So it shouldn't be there, and they shouldn't be wearing their little shirts around there and doing their little native dances for whatever. So let me tell you what happens. This is how horrible it is. It is abusive. It is torture. It is bonding. It is putting women down in one of the highest forms you would ever see. Now, the worst part of it is it's females doing it to females. Can you imagine? I would never let my daughter be involved in anything like this whatsoever. And if you did, one of my colleague classmates out there, if you grew up and made something half butt of yourself and then you let your daughters do it, you're just as stupid now as you were then. So let me tell you what they do, folks. They pick their little whoever's going to do it. And I'm sure there's one of the mothers somewhere who's every year is losing sleep picking which girls they're going to go after. So they get them together, and each summer is what they have what they call a week of induction, and it's actually called Rat Week. Well, it's called Rat Week because they treat them like rats, they feed them like rats, and they smell like rats. So for an entire week, they ride around in a dump truck around the city, and then they stop at different places in the community, downtown, at different clubs, at different organizations, you know, where they see people gathered. And the girls that are in it from last year bring the new girls in. They have to let them pour food on them. By the end of the week, they are so covered in rotten food and different other liquids and solutions, and they have to keep it that way for at least a week. They are so nasty they have to sleep out in a yard. They can't sleep anywhere in a house because they're just so nasty. And so I've seen them. I saw them, you know, every year that I was there in the summer, and they would line up like maybe on Main Street, make them get on their knees and say certain things or beg certain ways or walk and act, you know, maybe like a dog, or, you know, bark, things like that. And every time I saw them, they made them get on their knees and stand up like a dog so that they could crack raw eggs in their mouth, and they had to keep it down. It just went on and on and on. This is not anything healthy for a female teenager to endure, ever. Teenage years are highly developmental emotionally, and we need as much positivity and camaraderie from our female sisters, not this. And my God, you were one of my peers and you did this. I know who you were. There's no excuse for this. There is no excuse. And did you do it under your mommy's parental pressure? Or was it the school's pressure to just get you another notch up on the list of whatever the social event of the week was that week? Because I'm telling you, there is nobody on this earth that would treat my daughter like that, even today, and she's 30 years old. You would not. You wouldn't even suggest it and get away with it. And I don't know why the school has not had any kind of legal litigation against them. And, you know, maybe it's because somebody does realize that it's not school sponsored. But when you're driving around Anderson, South Carolina and doing this, they're representing Hanna. They're the girls from T.L. Hanna High School. And it is so bad. See, my dogs don't even like it. They don't even like it. We know young girls who were approached to be in the club, to come to some of the functions, to hang around, and then they were told verbally they were not good enough. Now, let me make sure you understand this. They probably knew all along, the members, that she wasn't going to get in. It was a taint. It was a taunt. It was more abuse of them with them in the hair. So that's just another part of the class separation and idiocy that goes on at this school. I have not checked to see if the Sub Debs are still going on at T.L. Hanna High School in Anderson, South Carolina. It probably is. I surely hope not. But again, this is a community, and this is an area of educational doom that is just so ridiculous. And if you have a student going there today and they're just trying to get through everyday life at a high school, it is so difficult there. If you are not in that, quote, you know, upper echelon, that these people still, again, are living behind some kind of false belief, delusional. They're delusional. about, you know, their class, because truly upper class, that's not it. That's not it. It may be it's a comfortable way of life, that's for sure, that some of them have, but the other part of it is their home is not paid for, their vehicles are not paid for. There's a lot of things going on in that home that are just not healthy, so that they can keep up with the Joneses. That's that part. They're keeping up with the Joneses. So the little sorority gig of T.L. Hanna High is abusive. It involved torture. It involved really degrading these young women. And the biggest concern that I have more than anything with these women, some of my peers that did it, what were you thinking? You okay with that? You okay with somebody telling you to get on the ground and worship them and eat raw food and look like a rat and smell like a rat and be called horrible names, and then ride around and present yourself in front of people with everything but the dew all over you? You okay with that? And if you had a daughter when you grew up, did you allow her to do that? Do you understand how emotionally harming that is? It's not healthy at all. There is no way you are ever going to come at me and put in a comment, well, we were a service organization, we did I don't care what you did. I don't care what you did. Here's the other thing about that. You don't need to have this chosen few to have this service organization. The way you're going to have a service organization serve the community better is have as many students in that organizational club that you can. Now, I don't remember any girls of color being in the Sub Debs. If I'm wrong, please let me know. I don't recall that at all. I don't. So if you want to call me out and back it up, do so, but otherwise I'm going to leave it at this. It's open for discussion, but I'm going to leave it at this. You have to understand how horrible it was, how horrible this is to do to your child. Honey, I got some news for you. Miss Becky called, and she's wanting you to be thinking about being one of Sub Debs, honey. So we got to get you ready. You know, you're going to live outside for a week. They're going to speak dirty to you, talk dirty to you, treat you dirty. You know, make you do dirty things, and you're gonna have to be all right with it, because you know that's gonna look good. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. It doesn't look good for your daughter, and it sure does not look good for you as a parent. It is abuse. And let me tell you this, old people, because not only after I finished school and was going to graduate school and postgraduate work, I was a probation officer and a parole officer to work through graduate school. Then I did child protective services for 12 years. If that crap went on now, law enforcement would be involved. It's abuse, honeys. It's abuse. So y'all think about this for a while. And we saw it. We saw it. On the other part, we had to sit out there and look at y'all drive through our town looking like a bunch of smelled up, twerked up bimbos, and I guess you're okay with that. You shouldn't be. Nobody should be. Nobody should allow anybody to treat their daughter or another human being like that. So chew on that a while. And I hope if you put your daughter through it that you can go find her today if she's still living and apologize. And apologize to her and help her understand. Please, dear God, don't do it to your daughter. Don't. So that's just some more of the horrible experiences that I saw at T.L. Hanna High. Stay tuned for my next video, because that's about the teacher that bullied me and how me and her and Jesus got things right. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you want to, but most of you not, because you don't want other people knowing that you saw this. Y'all have a good one. Hope to see you at the reunion. Bye now.